Hi, thank you for joining us on this episode of Sports Bets for Free. My name is Scott Jenkins, your host, just a local sports bettor here in Phoenix, Arizona. And hopefully today with our picks and your picks, it's going to be another profitable day for you. Thursday, January 18th, NBA college basketball bets as we get closer to the NFL weekend as well. Big game, pretty sizable day yesterday. A lot more games on the slate. 5 NBA games, couple of college games we're after as well. So we'll get right into it here, get started for you. 2 college games we're going to be after. First one's going to be 5 o'clock out here in Arizona, so 7 o'clock East. Memphis at home against South Florida. Memphis, the line has come down to 10.5. So we are going to be on Memphis today. Just a much better team than South Florida. And at home, Memphis is pretty deadly. Penny Hardaway definitely got these kids playing well, I think. So Memphis -6 first half, -10.5 for the game. So one more time, Memphis -6 first half, -10.5 for the game. Next game up. On the college slate, it's going to be happening at 6:30 out here in Arizona, so 8:30 Eastern. Number 14, Illinois, goes to Ann Arbor, Michigan. Michigan getting 2.5 at home. I think the teams are somewhat evenly matched. Illinois got some definitely advantages in some areas, Michigan in some others. But Michigan being at home and getting points, it is tough to win on the Big Ten on the road. I think that gets proven time and time again. Even Purdue, who's the best team in the league, suffers on the road in this league quite a bit. So we are going to take Michigan plus the points today. Get going with that one. So Michigan plus a half first half and plus 2.5 for the game. One more time, Michigan plus a half first half plus 2.5 for the game. Now we'll get into the NBA slate. Looks like a couple games going off at the same time here on the early window. Bulls at the Raptors. Raptors making that trade for Bruce Brown, Pascal getting traded to the Pacers, get a couple firsts out of it. Probably needed to happen. Breaks up a little bit of logjam, I think, where the Raptors are at. Scotty Barnes is definitely the future of that franchise. So kind of, they got rid of OG Anunoby as well. So they're definitely loading up for the future, I think, trying to build everything around Scotty Barnes. Scotty just needs to be more aggressive, I think. A lot of times I think he's pretty, especially in the first half, a lot of these young stars do that. They try to get everybody else involved and then try to score late. I think if they make their presence known from early, let them know who the man on the court is, so to speak. Everybody else kind of follows suits and gets to moving. But Raptors getting 2.5 at home. We really like the Raptors today after a big win yesterday as well. So we're going to ride that Raptors train one more time. So Raptors plus a half first quarter, plus a half first half, plus 2 for the game. Scotty Barnes over 19.5 points. He did hit this one last night as he got to 20. Barnes over 1.5 threes. He has missed this his last 3 or 4 times out. So he's close. It's not like he's not shooting threes. He's still getting 1 3. Just need the second one to fall there. And Barnes over 32.5 par. DeMar DeRozan over 1.5 turnovers for the Bulls. So one more time in this Raptors-Bulls matchup. Raptors plus a half first quarter, plus a half first half, plus 2 for the game. Barnes over 19.5 points, over 1.5 threes, and over 32.5 par. That's points, assists, rebounds combined. And then DeMar DeRozan over 1.5 turnovers. Is there a lot of length for the Raptors? They cause a lot of block shots, steals, pass lanes, things of that nature. And DeRozan likes to attack mid-range in. So we like him to get 2 turnovers plus in that particular matchup. Next game up, Knicks, Wizards. Knicks favored 12.5. Total somewhere around 233.5. On that one, don't necessarily like the side or the total. The reason being is this is one of those games, again, in the NBA schedule that could be a 30-point blowout or topsy-turvy, so to speak. Knicks they had a really good stretch there for a while. They've been playing mediocre as of late, so we do like some player props in this particular matchup, not necessarily side or total. So we're going to go with Brunson under 29.5 points. I don't know. I understand it's the Wizards, so your point total has to go up, but when they play these poor teams like this, if they get a 30-point blowout, he's also sitting in the fourth quarter and he won't get to 29.5. So we got 2 ways to kind of make that happen, I think. Brunson under 29.5 points. Randall under 28.5 points. Same scenario there. Tyus Jones over 11.5 points for the Wizards, over 1.5 threes, and he hit both those marks in the last game. Brunson under 2.5 3-pointers. Brunson under 40.5 par, and Randall under 43.5 par. And Brunson over 2.5 turnovers. As the better teams tend against the weaker competition, sometimes get a lot of mind lapses, think they can get away with things that they can't get away with, and they tend to turn the ball over a little bit more. Not that the Wizards are playing fantastic defense or anything like that, but they tend to slow down these games for some reason. I don't know why. Like, they played it down to the competition a little bit, even though they might be up by 20, but they're still playing at their pace, not their own pace. So this is what happens a lot in these games with a better team against one of the bottom 5 in the league. So once again, we like Jalen Brunson under 29.5 points, Randall under 28.5 points, Tyus Jones with the Wizards over 11.5 points and over 1.5 threes, Brunson under 2.5 threes, Brunson under 40.5 par, Randall under 43.5 par, Brunson over 2.5 turnovers. We'll get to the next game here. Next game up is going to be Thunder at the Jazz. Thunder, third game in 4 nights. They played 2 in LA on the road. Now they got 1 more here with Utah. Utah has been clicking 6 in a row, winning-wise, and they're getting points again. I understand why they're getting points. The Thunder are a better team. Situationally, though, this is a bad game for the Thunder. They've been struggling a little bit offensively, especially, and if you're going to keep up with the Jazz, you got to keep up offensively. They can put some points up. They have been putting points up, especially this last 6. We do like the Jazz here tonight at home, getting points, rested, versus a team that's been on the road. Like I said, 3rd game in 4 nights on that. So Jazz +1 first quarter, +1.5 first half, +3.5 for the game. SGA under 31.5 points, Holmgren under 17.5 points. Lauri Markkanen over 25.5 points. Holmgren under 1.5 threes. Markkanen over 2.5 threes, and that's going to be one of our best bets. Let's see, Holmgren under 28.5 par. He's really struggled here this last week or so. Markkanen over 37.5 par. SGA under 1.5 steals. And Holmgren over 1.5 turnovers, and SGA over 2.5 turnovers. So a lot of action in this game. We'll get back to it and go through this again for you. So Jazz +1 first quarter, +1.5 first half, +3.5 for the game. Chet Holmgren under 17.5 points. Markkanen over 25.5 points. Holmgren under 1.5 threes. Markkanen over 2.5 threes. Holmgren under 28.5 par. Markkanen over 37.5 par. SGA under 1.5 steals and over 2.5 turnovers, and Holmgren over 1.5 turnovers. Like I mentioned this here at the end of every episode and show we do, in the comment section will be a link to our Google Sheet, which is a ledger of all of our bets, what juice we got those at, how many units, and what book we placed them at. So do make sure you check that out. Is there a ton of bets for at least for a few amount of games? We do have quite a few bets for tonight. So in that one, we will get to the next game here. That is going to be Kings Pacers. Pacers, of course, getting Pascal Siakam on that trade, has not played yet. Halliburton's still out. Kings finally back home after that 5-city, 8-night deal where they almost beat the Suns, except giving up a walloper in the 4th quarter. But now they're back at home where they tend to shine. They're favored by 7.5 here. Total around 248 in this particular game, as the Pacers, no matter what happens, still don't like to play defense. So we're not gonna take. Let's see, we're not taking a. Well, I'll rephrase that. We do like the Kings. We like them quite a bit. We're not probably taking as much in this game as we would on some other nights, but Halliburton's not there, Siakam's not there yet, so. Kings -2.5 first quarter, -4 first half, -7 for the game. Sabonis over 21.5 points and over 43.5 par and over half a block. Miles Turner under 16.5 points. De'Aaron Fox over 2.5 threes. Miles Turner under 26.5 par, because that's the ticket that just keeps on cashing, especially with no Halliburton there. Once Halliburton gets back, I expect him to start whacking that par number again and he'll start scoring, as Halliburton opens up Turner probably more than anybody else in that offense. But we do like the Kings -2.5 first quarter, -4 first half, -7 for the game. Sabonis over 21.5 points. Miles Turner under 16.5 points. De'Aaron Fox over 2.5 threes. Sabonis over 43.5 par. Turner under 26.5 par. And Sabonis over half a block. So just need him to record 1 block and we get home. Next game up, Grizzlies, T-Wolves. All right, Bane's out, Ja Morant's out, Steven Adams out. The list goes on and on for the Grizzlies. T-Wolves, the best defensive team in the league, probably one of the better teams in the Western Conference, if not the best team. Only thing slowing them down could be just maybe a little bit of offense, but that defense is potent, especially when it gets into the paint with Gobert, Towns, and all those dudes. And AE plays excellent defense out on the perimeter. I don't think he gets quite enough credit for that, but one of the best two-way guards, I think, out there. He's 3-level scorer. And when the lights shine brightest, like these TNT games, he tends to stand out even more. So we are going to roll with the T-Wolves here today. Even though it's a 12 number, very obtainable for them. They tend to beat up the bad teams and put them where they're supposed to be. So T-Wolves -4.5 first quarter, -7 first half, -12 for the game. Ant-Man over 25.5 points. Gobert over 14.5 points. Jaren Jackson under 23.5 points. Ant-Man over 2.5 threes. Jaren Jackson under 2.5 threes, under 31.5 par, and over 2.5 turnovers. And then we're going back to Ant-Man for under 3.5 turnovers against the Grizzlies. So one more time, this T-Wolves-Grizzlies matchup. T-Wolves -4.5 first quarter, -7 first half, -12 for the game. Anthony Edwards, Ant-Man, over 25.5 points. Gobert over 14.5 points. Jaren Jackson under 23.5 points. AE, again, Ant-Man, over 2.5 threes. Jaren Jackson under 2.5 threes, under 31.5 par, over 2.5 turnovers, and Anthony Edwards under 3.5 turnovers. As we're thinking, maybe he doesn't even have to play the fourth quarter. Just need to get his points total early, right? So what you got, if they're going to go smash team, get that fourth quarter off. I think a lot of those guys like that, but they just got to go make sure they smash them early. So at the end of every show and episode we do, in the comments section, there will be a link to our Google Sheet. This is a ledger of all of our bets, how many units we wagered, what juice we got them at, and what book we placed them at, and then obviously the result once we're finished. So please check that out when you get some time. 3,000 units up on the college and NBA basketball season so far, so it's been a great season. If you're into football as well, the playoffs, those are going to be posted as well. There are separate tabs on there, so you can we keep the sports together, so to speak. So you'll see a football tab, basketball of the current years. You can also look back baseball and football from last year if you want to check those out. So feel free to do so. That's what they're there for. They are your cheat sheet, our blueprint on how to make some money. And as always, if you could subscribe and get notifications to our YouTube channel, so when we drop our bets, you get those first. It makes life really simple. Once you hit that subscribe button, turn the notifications on for YouTube. You'll get notified to your phone or device to let you know Sports Bets for Free has dropped a new episode with new bets, and to give you plenty of time to match those up with your bets and give you plenty of confidence heading to that betting app or betting window. I do appreciate everybody's support as always, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.